Recording.
Good evening, lords, ladies, barons, and baronesses, royal subjects of His Majesty, King Francis. It gives me great pleasure to announce tonight's entertainers that shall delight your senses with sight and sound. Please bid good wishes for their success. First, it is my privilege to acquaint you with Mackenzie Mello, Brandy Capello, and Scotty Mello playing the Baroness Rodmella de Gaunt and her daughters Marguerite and Jackeline. Next, give your greetings to the servants of the House of de Gaunt, played by Rachel Glasgow, Audra Kofarber, and Rebecca Bisbee. Please pay due respect to His Excellency, Prince Henry, played by Sean Kofarber, and the Captain of the Royal Guard, played by Sean Bisbee. It gives me great honor to announce to you His Royal Highness, King Francis, and Her Majesty, Queen Ursula, played by Tommy Brixey, and Isabella Garcia. Next, I introduce you to tonight's villain, Monsignor Pierre Depew, and his guard, played by Sheldon Glasgow and Chris Broaddus. Lords and ladies of the palace, I give you Brothers Grimm, played by Nick and Nate Upton. Next, I present to you the dignified Queen Mother, played by Her Majesty Sharon Booth. I invite you to subsequently give due notice to the head jailer, played by Chris Lambert, and our resident priest, Father Mike Huntley. Please raise your glasses to the royal lovely ladies in waiting, Christina Fox, Shakarius Broaddus, and Lily Jones. Find it in your hearts to give a hearty round of applause for the crew that has seen the need of the castle. Backstage crew led by Christy Brixey, stage manager. Lighting by Tiffany Wyatt and Veronica Garcia. Last but not least, the individual responsible for tonight's production, Her Royal Majesty, Head Taskmaster, and the ruler of the stage, Beth Huff. Thank you for your support of the Bentonville Beavers Pathfinder Club, a ministry of the Bentonville Seventh-day Adventist Church. Tonight is the 14th dinner play presentation, and it is entitled Ever After. Enjoy your evening.
Brothers Grimm, Your Majesty.
Thank you for coming. Please, have a seat. I suppose you're wondering why someone my age would be asking for an audience with the authors of children's stories.
Your letters were most intriguing, madam.
I find your collection of folktales quite brilliant, actually.
Thank you.
Although I must say, I was quite disturbed when I read your version of The Little Cinder Girl.
There are those who swear girls' telling with fairy godmothers and magic pumpkins would be closer to truth. Some say that she was made of fur. Others insist it was glass, but I guess we'll never know.
Might I inquire about the painting? She's really quite extraordinary.
Her name is Danielle de Marguerite, and this is her glass slipper. Perhaps you will allow me to set the record straight.
Then it's true? The stories?
Yes, quite. Now let's see, what's that phrase you use? Oh yes, once upon a time, there lived a young girl who loved her father very much. Wrong for this one. Danielle, fellas, it was just like Christmas that year. Her beloved father had sent word that he was bringing home a new mother and 2 sisters to live with them at the manor. She could barely contain her excitement as her dear friends and trusted maidservants prepared for the arrival of her new family. The Baroness Romelia Gant and her 2 daughters arrived in a style foreign to Danielle. To a young girl who had lost her mother and had been raised solely by her father, they seemed to her as if they might almost be royalty. Their first months together were like a fairy tale. Danielle watched in reverent awe as the Baroness lavished her daughters in dresses, jewels, and furnishings for their private compartments. Danielle's kind heart never once noticed the favor placed on her stepsisters above herself, and spent her days doing everything she could to make the Baroness and her daughters more comfortable in their new home. Her father had requested this over one of their evening talks by the fireplace, where he and she would read out of the book of Utopia together until she could barely hold her eyelids open, at which point he would whisk her away, tuck her under the covers, and bid her the sweetest of dreams. A short 4 months later, the morning of her father's business excursion to Avignon, tragedy struck their little family, and her beloved father was laid to rest beside her dear mother, of whom she had never had the pleasure of meeting. The Baroness, stricken with grief, withdrew into herself, and a seed of anger and jealousy toward Danielle grew in her heart. The kind deeds that Danielle performed selflessly for her stepfamily were no longer appreciated. They came to be expected and demanded. Soon, Danielle found herself no longer the daughter of a baron, but a maidservant of the villa. Her loving father's memory awoke with her each morning and rested with her each night as she blossomed into womanhood. It would be 10 years before another man would enter Danielle's life, a man who was a boy in many, many ways.
I signed a marriage treaty with the King of Spain, and that boy will obey me or there'll be much to pay.
But he does not love her, my lord.
It's not about love. If he is to become king, he must accept his responsibilities.
Really, Francis? Can't this wait till morning?
If I can't sleep, neither shall he.
My lord, we are unable to locate the prince. He is missing.
Then call out the royal guard. Find him, bring him back!
Yes, my lord.
We have other horses, sire, please. They are younger, if that is your wish.
My wish is to be free from my gilded cage. My wish is to make my own decisions before your silence.
Honey!
Marguerite, precious, what do we say about tone?
A lady of breeding ought never to raise her voice above the gentle hum of a whispering wind.
Jackeline, dear, do not speak unless you can improve the silence. Now, Marguerite, I doubt that style of residence would be permitted in the royal court.
I'm not going to the royal court now, am I, Mother? No one is except for some Spanish pig they have the nerve to call a princess.
Now, darling, nothing is final until you're dead. Now look what I've gotten for you.
Oh, Mother, it needs to be bigger. It needs to draw some attention.
I fear anything bigger would make her fall over.
Jackeline, dear, maybe if you worried a little bit more about your own appearance, we'd be thinking about you being invited to the court now, wouldn't we? Why is there no salt on this table? Danielle!
Coming!
Oh, she's in one of her moods.
Paulette, look! The sun has risen in the east and it's going to be a beautiful day!
Look at all those coins. Where did you get this?
From an angel of mercy, and I know just what to do with them. If the Baroness can sell your sister to pay her taxes, then surely this can bring her home. The court will have to let her go.
But the king has sold her, and she's bound for the Americas in the morning.
No, this is our home, and I won't let it fall apart.
We're waiting!
Take heed, mistress. Put those coins away, or they're as good as hers.
Good morning, Madame. Marguerite, Jackeline, I trust you slept well.
What kept you?
I was...
Look at you. You've been reading in the fireplace again, haven't you? Ash and soot everywhere.
Some people read because they cannot think for themselves. Why don't you sleep with the pig's cinder soot if you insist on smelling like one?
That was harsh. Danielle, come here, dear. You do reflect a certain crudeness. What can I do to make you at least try to look and act like a lady?
Well, I do try, stepmother. Sometimes I sit on my own and think about what else I could do for you and how I could act better. Perhaps if we brought Maureen back, I would not offend you so.
It is your manner that offends, Danielle. Throughout these hard times, I've sheltered you and cared for you. And all that I ask in return is that you help me with no complaints. Is that such an extraordinary request?
No.
Very well. There shall be no more talk of servants coming back. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
After all that I do, after all that I've done, it's never enough.
My lady, the prince approaches, followed by his royal guard.
Oh, this is it, ladies. This is what we've been waiting for. Go put on your best gown. Jackeline, go put on something to make you look pretty. Oh, I'm so excited. This is great. Oh, goodness. Good, sire, good day. What do we owe this honor?
Oh, I am returning your horse.
Was it missing?
I I merely borrowed it, it's not broken by any stretch of the imaginations, but the woman, your servant girl, I started with her, and she has quite a good arm.
Paulette! She is mute, my lord.
Really? She spoke so forcefully.
Well, it comes and goes. But your highness, you know you're always welcome to anything he wishes, anything at all. Oh, there's ladies. Your highness, may I present Marguerite Francois Louise of the House of Ghent and Jackeline.
Well, ladies, you have blossomed overnight. And Marguerite, that brooch is merely stunning.
Oh, this old thing. You're too kind.
Your highness, we are so looking forward to celebrating the engagement to your own Spanish rose.
Yes, the engagement, or the Spanish front, it's taken on new developments.
These developments, I trust, are for the best.
We shall hope so. Well, good day, ladies.
Good day, sire.
No.
Have you lost your marbles? Do you know what the punishment is for servants who dress above their station? 5 days in the stocks.
And you do the same for me, admit it. Me.
Pretend to be a courtier.
Ha! Well, no one will recognize me. Now go so I can do what I came to do.
Wait. They'll never buy it. You're too sweet. And they'll never buy a servant with gold francs either.
Paulette, you know I am Maureen's only hope. I have to do this. Whatever it may be. Yards and yards of fabric, and I still feel half naked, and my shoes are way too big.
Oh, no one will be looking at your feet. Trust me. Now, chin up. If you're going to be a noblewoman, you must act the part. You look down to no one.
Paulette, I am just a servant in a pretty dress. Now go on back home so I can finish this mission.
Make way for the lady.
Excuse me, sir. I wish to address the issue of this woman. She is my servant, and I am here to pay the debt against her.
Too late. She's bought and paid for.
I can pay you 20 gold francs.
You can't have me for 20 gold francs. She's not the property of the Courtier. Now go on.
She is not property at all, you ill-mannered oaf. Do you think it's right to chain people like chattel? I demand you release her at once, or I shall take this matter to the king.
Out of my way!
You dare raise your voice to this lady, sir?
Your Highness, forgive me, sir. I meant no disrespect. It's my job to keep these thieves to the coast.
A servant is not a thief, your highness, and those who are cannot help themselves.
Really? Enlighten all of us.
If you suffer your people to be ill-educated and their manners corrupted from infancy, and then punish them for the crimes to which their first education disposed them, then what is to be concluded, sire, but that you first make thieves and now you are punishing them?
There you have it. Release her.
But sire.
I said release her.
Yes, sire. I thought I was looking at your mother.
Meet me at the bridge. Go, prepare the horses. We shall leave at once. Thank you, sire.
Wait. Have I met you?
I don't think so, sire.
But I could swore that I knew every courtier in the province.
Well, I am visiting a cousin.
Who?
My cousin?
Which one?
The only one that I have, sire.
Then give me your cousin's name, because anyone who can quote Thomas More is well worth the effort.
The prince has read Utopia.
I have. I felt it was sentimental and dull. The plight of the everyday rustic bores me.
And I gather you do not converse with many rustics.
Oh, certainly not new. Naturally.
Sire, there is nothing natural about it. A country is defined by its everyday rustics, as you call them. They are the legs you stand on, and that position demands respect.
Do you find me arrogant?
Well, you gave one woman back her life, but you didn't even glance at all the others.
Well, then give me any name, please.
I fear that the only name I can leave you with is the Countess Nicole de Lancre.
Now there, was that not so hard?
Prince Henry, you're back.
Oh, hello, Ursula.
Your father left word with you.
He usually does. I'll be right in.
You, sir, are restricted to the grounds.
Am I under house arrest?
Do not mock me, boy, for I'm in a foul disposition, and I'll have my way.
What is it, Father? Are you going to punish me like some common criminal and send me to the Americas?
You are the Crown Prince of France.
And it's my life!
Francis, sit down before you have a stroke. Really, the two of you. Sweetheart, you're born to privilege, and with that comes specific obligations.
Please, Ursula. Marriage to a stranger never made anyone in this room very happy.
Excuse me, sir, you'll pay due respect to your mother.
She may be your wife and the current Queen of France, but she is not my mother.
You will marry Gabriella by next full moon, or I'll strike at you in any way I can.
What is it going to be, Father? Hot oil or the rack?
I'll simply deny you the crown and live forever.
Good, we agree. I don't want it.
He's your son.
Oh, pray the saints. She is young enough to be my sister.
Now both of you be reasonable.
Fine. Signor da Vinci, the great painter, is visiting us from the east. In his honor, I'm throwing a great ball. A masked ball. At which point, you and I, sir, will strike a compromise.
No, compromise you?
If love is what you seek, I suggest you find it for 5 days hence. At the stroke of midnight, you will announce your engagement to the girl of your choice, or I will announce it for you. Are we agreed?
And what's of your treaty?
Shh, let me worry about Spain. You've got bigger problems to figure out.
Choose wisely, Henry. Divorce is only something they do in England.
Ursula, do you know Countess Nicole de Lancre?
Who, dear?
She's the cousin of, well, I don't know who she's the cousin of, but I'm sure you've heard of her.
Oh, darling, there's simply too many courtiers to remember them all by name. Why do you ask?
Oh, never mind.
I'd given anything to see you out there all dressed up like a courtier. And to think, you paraded right in there and got our Marine back for us. Speaking to the prince like a lady and all.
Oh no, scolding him was more like it. And I cannot believe I gave him my mother's name. Really, the man is insufferable.
Oh, darling, he's royalty. They're all born like that. I'll bet he's quite charming once you get to know him.
No way. I think he and Marguerite, they deserve each other.
Bite your tongue. The only throne I want her sitting on is the one I have to clean every day. I'm just so glad we're all back together. Oh, me too.
Oh, there you all are. What is she doing here?
I have worked off my debts, my lady. They told me I could go home.
Fine, go catch a chicken. Marguerite, come dear, let me show you what I was discussing.
What are you doing?
I'm airing your dress out for the ball, dear. I suppose for a commoner it'll have to do. Look at it, it's practically an antique.
You wish me to go to a ball?
Of course, dear. It hurts me so much that you don't feel like you're one of my daughters. Rumor has it that the royal engagement's been canceled and the prince himself must find a bride before the night of the ball. I thought we could all go as one big happy family. That is, if you finish your chores in time and mind your manners till then.
I don't know quite what to say.
I have such high hopes for Marguerite at the ball. She turned in such a beautiful performance this afternoon when he returned the horse that the prince borrowed. Her and the prince had quite an interlude.
Yes, yes. I imagine he'll stop by again. In fact, he's playing tennis tomorrow with the Marquis de Limoges at noon. I imagine I'll be invited as his particular guest.
How nice.
Well, this one's too small.
Really, Jackeline? We must get you a tighter cinch.
I cannot breathe as it is.
If one cannot breathe, one cannot eat.
Oh, look at these shoes. Where did you get these? They're Danielle's dowry. For her wedding. I can't imagine who she'll marry, though. Probably the chimney sweep.
See? What did I tell you about the dress? The prince will surely notice you in it. How could he not?
Oh, Mother, it's absolutely divine. Wait, I thought the dress was for Danielle's wedding. Oh, don't be stupid, Jackeline. I'm wearing it to the ball. Well, don't you think you should ask her before you plan on borrowing it?
Honestly, Jackeline, whose side are you on? Marguerite may have anything her heart desires if it means she will get the crown. You're obviously not helping.
Find them? And if you find them, are they really the ones for you? Or do you think they are? Or what if the person you're meant to be with never appears? Or she does, but you're too distracted to notice. Let's say God puts two people on the earth, lucky enough to find one another. One of them gets hit by me. Well then what? Is that it? Or chance you meet one and marry again? Is that lady the one you should have been with, or was it the first? And there's two of them are side by side. Were they both meant for you, or you just meant for the first one, or the second was supposed to be first? Is everything just chance, or are some things meant to be?